The most important question I ever got was, what is your legacy? Not a material legacy, but if life stops here, how do you want to be remembered? What is that energy? How do people see you? This podcast series is a result of that question, what is my legacy? A phoenix is burning itself on a funeral pyre and rising from the ashes with renewed youth to live through another cycle. This fertile ash is filled with phoenix frequencies of compassion, love, forgiveness, intuition, wisdom, generosity, resilience, creativity, and evolution and involution. I've been in the ashes. I give voice to my phoenix. I share how I pioneer with ease. That's a lifestyle, a choice. I'm Nienke van Bezooijen, and I welcome you to listen and invite you to rise. Welcome to the Phoenix frequency. Unchain my heart, let me be. Unchain my heart, set me free. Joe Cocker in his beautiful song. And I am wondering, what change do I still have? Are they still serving me? Are they unconscious? What is going on? And I want to bring you back to last December when my mother passed away. Very deliberately, she gave my father the wedding ring back at the 61st wedding anniversary. We spoke about this, my mom and I, just before that. And she said, I want to hand the wedding ring back on that day because I want to give it with a warm hand, not from a dead body. My mom knew she was dying, and I think it's such a deed of love and compassion to do something with a warm heart. And of course it was emotional, but it was such a conscious and thoughtful action. But there was more jewelry left. She left me a watch on a necklace, a memory to look at any time. And after the funeral, my father took off his wedding ring as well. And last week, he came back from the goldsmith. He had made a hanger of the two rings, her ring fitting perfectly inside his. And the zodiac sign of Leo, the sign of my mother, but also her mother-in-law, my grandmama, he put that in the middle. And he kept it all in a wooden box, well taken care of, because he isn't a person that would wear something on a necklace. But he's very happy with it and filled with good memories. Years ago, my mother gave me an old ring with rubies. And when we put it on my hand, it struck me deeply because I was looking in my hand to her hands. I grew up with that ring on her finger, and now my hand looks exactly the same. I've always been picky on what rings I wear. The ring I always take on is by my design. Cora, the goldsmith, created it by my design after my divorce. It's half gold, half silver, and a 2-color citrine is embedded by it. I transformed my wedding ring after the divorce to a new life. And after I phoenixed, I found a gold and silver ring with a butterfly and a leaf, the symbols of growth and transformation. I've been wearing that a lot on my other hand. And then suddenly that ring snapped into 2 pieces this week too. Is it time for change? I decided to listen to my heart's intuition. My mom and I have been challenged how to relate to one another in my adult life. My mom's care showed up as overcare. Her interest turned in competing. Although she never meant to, I felt suffocated very often. And my way of living was not her world. Jealousy, a lack of self-esteem she lived wasn't easy to be with. the biases, the opinions, the limiting beliefs. My approach scared her off, and I couldn't fulfill the role of a daughter she was looking for. It was in the last weeks of her life she softened. She tried to listen, to understand, and I can see that with love. No hard feelings rule me anymore. So my heart told me to ask my father if I would wear her ring instead of replacing the one that had snapped. I knew I had to do something else first, clearing my chain, setting myself free. Letting myself be, setting myself free is something I can only do myself. I want to wear my mother's ring. If I wear my mother's rings, I am still who I am. I'm not a replacement. I take on good memories, gratitude for the one who gave me my life. I can leave behind what I don't need, what I don't want to take with me. Not a suspicion, not a jealousy and biases. I have a choice in what I take along in my life. I am not a clone of my mom. I'm her daughter. I am sure my mom brought me up in the best way what was possible at that time. So did I with my children. Do I always like what she did? No. Do my children always like what I did? No. But I've seen too many men and women who are battling what their parents did in their life. I've seen people who desperately like to avoid the same behavior as their mom or dad did. But in reality, they're doing exactly the same, but with a sugar-coated smile, pretending they are better than their upbringing. Wearing my mother's ring, I can give all meaning I like. Negative, positive, but it doesn't mean I am my mother. I can leave behind what I don't need or want to take with me. My mother was most happy when we were in junior school. But like my clothes at that time, they no longer fit. I set myself free from that. Are you wearing your junior school clothes and behavior? Well, it was very helpful for me to take a solid investigation into my old patterns and behavior. In that way, is how I behaved as a teenager still helpful today? And is my alertness when my children were babies still helpful when they are around their 30s? No way. Time is moving on. It helped me to be self-honest. After I phoenixed, I had a tendency to prove myself. Show the world, look, I can still fill in the dots. But what stayed was the proving of the past, not the reality of the now. Proving I still exist, proving my qualities, proving I'm worth to be loved. How about you? Are you still running the old show? Or are you ready of letting go of the significance, the reasons? I set myself free. How about you? What if there was nothing to prove, just to be? Who are you then? For yourself? For others? So I chose to wear also the other ring of my mother, leaving behind the change she created or the change I adopted. I chose to love her. Focus on what worked. I know well enough what didn't work, but that's not where I want to be. I keep my promise to her and look after my father while he's still alive. But I unchain the overcare. In this domain, I unchained my heart, let myself be, because I set myself free for me and no one else. I invite you to explore it wholeheartedly for yourself. And when I look at my hands, I see the hands with the love given by my mother. Because in the end, the only thing that mattered and still matters is that she loved me in the best way she could. And that's worth honoring. So on what shoulders are you standing for the ones who lived before you? What are you wearing from them? Or do you keep the change on? You can lift yourself and live your life if you dare to rise.